I've had an idea for a while about a series called PR in a car. I spend a lot of time driving, maybe a day or two a week on the road. That's because we're based in Gloucester, which makes PR in a car an interesting thing to potentially say. My agency, Radioactive PR, is based in Gloucester, and most clients are London-based or up in Manchester or further afield. I'm travelling a lot, got a lot of time with my own thoughts, tend to listen to a lot of podcasts, but on that note, I've thought for a long time, have I got anything to contribute from a podcast perspective or from an interview perspective? And I've actually been thinking that for quite a while. But the problem is, I always feel kind of nervous to. I'd imagine that's an issue for a lot of people. The idea is that PR in a car is me maybe giving tips, talking about the industry. But for today, for this first one, I wanted to talk about my agency and where we're at. And we are 5 years in, at the beginning of December. So I started the company itself, I think on the 12th of November, but then banks and getting everything ready. So I kind of count the 1st of December as the end of the year. And it's weird that you'd have this arbitrary kind of anniversary date as a marker, but you do. And I thought, 5 years in, where did I think I'd be? Where I thought I'd be and where we are two very different things. I think I imagined that I would be in a place where I wasn't worrying every day, where I wasn't thinking every single day about keeping every client happy, bringing the business in. But the fact is you are. The fact is I am. And it's not that structurally we don't have a great team. It's not that I don't have a lot of support around me and people aren't doing their jobs well. It's that perhaps you have this idea that agency life or running your own business is going to be this breeze after a few years. And I've got to be honest, I didn't enjoy running the business at all for the first couple of years as we built. But I think it's because I'm incredibly security conscious. I really take it on my shoulders the idea of having a team and them having mortgages to pay and them having bills. And also I've got 3 children, so there was a lot of pressure for me and for my my family as well, outside of my family unit, as in children and my wife. There's a lot of pressure to keep people happy there too. So I've always felt this level of need for security that I'm sure everybody has, but for some reason, even as things have got good, from a money in the bank and I can pay wages for X time perspective, we're not a cash business. We don't run like that. We don't. I wouldn't have it so that money in, is there or thereabouts, money out. Margins are massively important to me and always have been. So first couple of years, didn't really enjoy it. And I'm quite fortunate to have a good friend of mine, Jamie, who started a charity around the same sort of time, and we've kind of been on these parallel paths where when I'm up, he's down, when I'm down, he's hang on, have I got that right? Probably not. You get the idea. So we can kind of lean on each other with that. But the idea that with 5 years in, I'm still at a point of day to day, week, if not day to day, certainly week to week, month to month, definitely concern about what we're earning that month, what the margins are looking like that month, team happiness. I didn't realise how much of this was man management, and that's actually something I really enjoy about it. Having played rugby all my life, and then I was a rugby coach from 18. I had my first daughter at 18 as well, so there's always been that responsibility there. But that rugby coach element of me looking after people and feeling like I can maybe support them, I quite enjoy that. I've always liked the idea of being quite useful. Yeah, I very much take it on myself to care about the team's development, to care about their happiness, and as possibly evidenced by the 4-day, 5-day pay initiative that I bought in 18 months or so ago now. I really do care that they're happy, and then economically as well. There is an imperative because, there's a benefit because if the team are happy, they stay, they do good things. If the team stays, that's recruitment costs. That's it makes it easier to recruit in the future, and there's a real conscientiousness around their work. And if they're being conscientious around their work, which is something you kind of can't buy, then it's going to be good work, you hope. And if it's good work, if it's great work, clients are happy too. So it does follow suit. But why am I rambling? Because 5 years in, you think that you're going to get to this point where it's magically right. This is this brilliant business, and I can see a path forward. Recently, I've been feeling quite down about things, and nothing. I don't work in a coal mine. My background's not exactly the most privileged, so I get the position we're in to get paid for fun ideas, to get paid to help clients in the way that we do is a privilege. But nonetheless, it can that relentlessness, and that's a word I keep coming back to. That relentlessness of it all can kind of get you down and make you feel like there's not an end in sight. So I took a step back, and I remembered playing rugby, as I said. And anybody that's played sport, I'm sure this is a mantra that kind of cuts across all. If you're up by a decent amount at half time, it's 0-0 mentality, where if you're up by 30, 40, you could get complacent. You see it happen to teams all the time. So that idea that it's 0-0, and whether you can truly get that mindset, pick that mindset back up as if it was truly 0-0, who knows? But that used to help me. I used to think, okay, reset, we go again. And I thought, what if I did that for the business? What if it truly was 0-0 again? What if this was day zero, and and any stress I'm feeling is understandable, is fine. What if I said, day zero, tomorrow's day one. I've got the clients we've got, the team I've got in place, the money in the bank, and the new business pipeline. If today was day zero and tomorrow's day one, would I be happy with that? If I had investors, which I didn't, I started the business by myself, which added obviously the stress, and you're not able then to kind of lean on anybody else. But if today was day zero, tomorrow's day one, would I be happy? And I had to think I would be. And this was maybe a week or two ago that I kind of came to this realization, and that's a really powerful realization for me. It might not work for everybody, but for me, it was you get trapped in the idea of what you could be and what other people's businesses look like. And I don't care what anybody says. It's difficult in today's day and age, or in this day and age, especially with social media, and everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's you only see the good things. I had somebody recently come up to me and say it looks like everything's going really well, and it is, and I can't say it's not. But also you only see the good bits. You don't see the struggles, the 11 o'clock nights. If I have one more person say, you're lazy, you only work 4 days, it's like, A, you don't know what I pack into the Monday to Thursday in the first place, and B, do you truly think that I'm only working 4 days a week, 9 to 5 on a business? That's just not how it works. You speak to any business owner, and that just because I'm trying to do something different, and that benefits people in a massive way. I think we worked out that the 4-day week means a month and a half every year that the team aren't working, that other people that work a normal week are working, and that's huge. Over time you can see how that scales, and who wouldn't want that? Over my maths is going to be absolutely shonky, but over 10 years, what does that look like? Well, it's more than a year, I think. So that's a tenth of your time given back to you. So I think I want to pursue that kind of thing, because if we don't do it now, when will we do it? Retirement age is just increasing. We're people of our generation and younger can only hope to be working for pretty much the rest of our lives. Why shouldn't we try and attack, and make it better now? But for me, of course, I'm working on the business, especially on a Friday. Not necessarily within, but on, and it's meant that I started another business, and actually created like a group, like a holding company structure for the business. So day zero, that's the point of this. It's a mental reset. I'm going away for a few days tomorrow evening, going away for a few days, and it won't affect the business. I think I'll be out of the company for a couple of days, but it's kind of stressful seeing all your team go away on holidays, and knowing that if I was to count the number of days out of the office, then it would have to be a combined, I'm leaving the office now to go and get the kids from school. or I'm leaving now because I've got 45 minutes and I might be able to get to the gym that tiny bit earlier, but then I'm going to be straight back on it this evening. So you think about the time that you actually might then spend on yourself, and it's going to be minimal, as any business owner knows. And I think the structure is important. So what I'm doing is I'm meeting somebody that's ran other companies, run especially other, or specifically other PR agencies, and I'm going to go into it with that day zero mentality, the idea that if we had what we've got in the bank, and the runway that gives us, and the security that gives us for me to create other businesses, because that's effectively what I've done, is invest some of that money to create another with somebody this time. What does so if I had the team in place, so somehow I'd managed to convince all of those people that it was a good idea to give up well-paid jobs elsewhere to come and work with me, and we had the current clients and new business pipeline that we have. Would I be happy? I'd have to be. So I'm going to take that into this, to this idea of meeting with somebody that perhaps, because we spend so much time worrying about our team's development and not so much worrying about our own, is going to be a good thing for me, and actually give me a bit of, I hope, possibly a bit of a pat on the back. Right, you've done half of these things accidentally well. These half, you might not have been thinking about, because started the agency at 27. What do I know? Especially, what do I know about business? Being a good PR person doesn't make you a good business owner, and I think sometimes that's where agencies succeed or fail. Is it's great to be creative, it really is, and I think that's a trait that a lot of people could do. A lot of people wish they had in them, and I think there's definitely a bit of that about me. But I'd hope that I'm marrying that with some form of learned business acumen. I am looking forward to taking the business into the next 5 years. I don't have a big, hey, we're opening an international office, hey, we are doing anything extraordinary as an agency. All I have is positivity and leadership, and I've got a really clear idea of where I want the company to go, and it's maybe just that growth point that you hit when you get to a dozen people in an agency. How do I scale that? How do I go from here to the next level? And I think what I'm beginning to understand is a lot of it is empowerment, putting people in the right places in a way that gives them the ability to make decisions that you might or might not have made. And I think I need to get myself to a point of feeling comfortable with that, the feeling like, what if I allow decisions to be made that I wouldn't have made, and there's every chance then that it's going to be, or not even every chance, it's going to be one of these two things. It's either going to be a decision that I wouldn't have made, and it's a negative in my mind, or less subjectively possibly for the business, or it's a decision I wouldn't have made and it's a good one. And that's where you hear about putting people in the right places that are brighter than you, or that are more capable than you. And I'm desperate for that to happen, but also because of that security conscious nature, I almost don't want to put people in those places. Don't want to put people in those places, because I really do, because I can see it. That's the only way to grow. But I don't want to let go, perhaps, or I'm not letting go of the right things, and I'm hoping that I can. So it's been a great month from a new business, from a coverage, from current clients. All of those things. Of course, you have the day-to-day stresses, but the last 3 months have been particularly difficult. Margins are slightly down, and it's hard not to get into that mindset of, I wish I would have been further along than I am, or than we are. I'd set ourselves the kind of agency growth for this year target, and we're going to miss it. And that means nothing. Again, it's entirely arbitrary, because I'm not beholden to investors or to anybody else, but it's just that personal ambition and drive. It's both my worst and my best trait, I think, that leads me to feeling slightly imperfect, and then you just fall into this spiral of, I'm not doing as well as I can. Why am I not doing as well as I can? You put more pressure on yourself, and it just feels relentless, as I said. So hoping to address that. A few days away, come back ready to go, sit down with somebody that I hope is going to help me from almost from that that structural perspective, or even just clarity perspective, and really kick on and say, if this was day one, if tomorrow's day one, what does that look like as an agency? And hopefully that's a positive. No idea if this is of any use or of any interest to anybody. I actually don't even know how long I've been talking for, possibly 10 minutes or so. I might edit this just so you don't have to put up with my annoying West Country ums and nonsense. But either way, as I say, in the car a lot, heading to a meeting now, which is definitely going to be a positive one, feeling good. And I guess that's all we can do, is just be as positive as we can be. Anyway, I might do more of these. PR in a car. Give me a shout if you've got anything you'd like me to talk about. I think what I'd like to do in the future is tips, advice, the experiences I've had. Just happy to answer any questions and go from there, really. Maybe this is a really fucking stupid idea. Who knows? Maybe it's incredibly boring. Some bloody idiot sat in a coat in a too hot car. My face is probably red. Maybe it's a daft idea, but maybe it's not. I guess we'll find out. Thank you.